The Thief Rogue ain't the only big dog for the mundane items in this game. You'll see what I mean in the actual play section. Hello everyone, I'm Tony, your 62-bit hero, and today we're talking about the chain. This video is a continuation of a series. If you'd like to know more about what this series is and how the ratings work, feel free to check out the first video on the grappling hook. Chains are honestly so cool in fiction. You can just hear the sound of chains dragging against the floor, can't you? When I think of chains for D&D, I think of things like Trevor Belmont from the Netflix Castlevania series, or Ghost Rider from Marvel Comics, or Go-Go Yubari from Kill Bill. Is it as good in Dungeons & Dragons as it is in the rest of fiction? Let's find out together. Costs 5 gold, weighs 10 pounds. Honestly, a little bit pricey for a very low level adventure, but at most levels, it's very affordable. Also, 10 pounds is pretty heavy if you're tracking. You've only got so much capacity on your character sheet. As a utilize action, you can wrap a chain around an unwilling creature within 5 feet of yourself that has the grappled, incapacitated, or restrained condition if you succeed on a DC 13 strength athletics check. If the creature's legs are bound, the creature has the restrained condition until it escapes. Escaping the chain requires a creature to make a successful DC 18 dexterity acrobatics check as an action. Bursting the chain requires a successful DC 20 strength athletics check as an action. First, and fairly unique to this item, it actually requires a strength check to put it on your target. This does make it a little bit worse for the Thief Rogue, but it also gives options to characters who have decent strength or athletics proficiency. The chain requires an action to break, which is great. It doesn't have a scaling DC, but that's actually probably better in this case. Those DCs are high, really high. Somebody that gets restrained by the chains and doesn't have a method to teleport out is going to have a bad time. Since the chains are linked to the utilize action, they do work with fast hands, but remember, athletics check, not acrobatics. Like we discussed when we were talking about the net, this is one of the items that has a prerequisite for use. Enemies must be grappled, incapacitated, or restrained. That can make things clunky, but it's great if your party is on board. There are a lot of ways to grapple now, including the universal option of using an unarmed strike to force a saving throw against it. Unfortunately, I think this item is also clumsily written. How long is the chain? It weighs 10 pounds. Do I calculate somehow? Do I look at the 2014 Player's Handbook where it's written as being 10 feet long? If the creature's legs are bound, it implies you're making a choice of what you're binding. So choose the legs. It also seems like if you bind the legs of something with wings, they're restrained and can't fly either. If you try to wrap up a creature that doesn't have legs, I guess you can't restrain them. It's a bit messy, but I think I get what they were going for. Imagine restraining somebody and then leading them as you both walk into town, them being wrapped up in the chains. Unfortunately, rules as written, if you tie them up this way, it doesn't actually do anything. I mean, obviously it does, right? Every DM is going to rule in that direction. But the book only says it gives a condition if you bind the creature's legs. There's no condition like restrained that doesn't restrict movement. Stunned is kinda close, but don't even get me started on how confusing it is that the stun condition doesn't restrict movement. This also doesn't have a size restriction, which makes me think the chain is much longer than just 10 feet. Now, you'll probably have a real hard time setting up a grapple or something against a gargantuan creature, but if you did, you could use the chains to restrain them. We have yet another character for you all to meet. Introducing Vasi, the level 15 Shadow Monk, and probably the edgiest character I'll ever make. This character only carries a couple of mundane items with them, but they're about to show you that the Thief Rogue isn't the only character that is especially effective at using items. The monk bonus action is incredibly diverse, which makes it way less painful to use your action on the utilize action. It's an apocalyptic world. We're guiding and trying to protect our tribe of people as we move north towards what we believe is a safe haven. We've just been warned about the unusual presence of Chimera in this area, and the DM has us roll 2d6. We rolled 2 5s and watched the DM's eyes go wide. The number of Chimera that were about to attack us and our group was 2d6 plus 4. So our tribe, full of commoners, was about to get ambushed by 14 Chimera. This is a problem. We need to stop them, and our combination of Shadow Monk and a Conquest Paladin doesn't have a lot of AoE, so we need to try to stop them far away before they reach the tribe if possible. Vasi is fast, and the Paladin has a flying mount. We fly out to meet the Chimera, and Vasi leaps towards one 60 feet in the air and lands right on them, using their bonus action Flurry of Blows to kick things off. You can do bonus actions before actions, I promise. The first hit lands, and Vasi uses their grappling feat to get a grapple on the large-sized creature in addition to the damage. Now that they're grappled, 2 more quick attacks from the heightened focus Flurry of Blows with advantage thanks to the grappling feat, and it's time to use Vasi's action on the chain. Vasi does have proficiency in athletics to help increase the odds, and thank goodness, because 8 strength isn't very high. But success! We wrap the legs in flavor that we're doing the same to the wings, because, you know, weird item description, and down we go. 60-foot fall, enemy is restrained, 3 attacks, the monk uses slow fall, takes no damage. Pretty good turn. This Chimera was out of the fight. They subsequently failed to escape the chain's incredibly high escape DC 5 turns in a row. Getting close with an 18 athletics check, but that's not enough. You can shut down an enemy with these very effectively. The rest of the fight was honestly insane, and I don't have the time to explain it here, but the Paladin and his mount utilized fear effects and did some beefy damage. Our few powerful NPCs put in some serious work, and Vasi had a very successful use of the magic item, Pipes of Haunting, to get 5 of the Chimera to flee. That's right, a magic item. Only 16 people in the tribe died, but Vasi managed to use all 15 of their focus points and ended the combat with only 11 hit points. That's insane for a single combat. We're also currently dealing with the consequences of this fight, so I don't want to get too cocky over here. The DM running this game does watch these videos. All in all, the chain is really good. It doesn't need a scaling DC, it's just strong. On a Thief Rogue, I give this 3 stars, but it was a real tough call for me to put it below 4. It is very strong if you get it on an opponent, but your strength is probably not great. And it would feel real bad to try to put this on somebody and not hit the DC on the athletics check. It might be worth using one of your many proficiencies on athletics to specifically help with this item, but there's another item that I think is probably better suited to this exact task and definitely competes in terms of high DC saves. It's also likely that another member of your party is actually better suited to using this item. It's also an item with a prerequisite. That can make it tougher to set up. Maybe the enemy you want to use this on saved against your net, or the barbarian's unarmed grapple, or the monk's stunning strike. Then you literally can't use it. It's just a fancy and somewhat expensive 10-pound paperweight at that point. For everyone else, well, it's complicated. I'm going to say 3 stars because honestly, for strength-based party members, I might even give this 4 stars despite the prerequisites. As for non-strength-based characters, I'd probably say 2 stars. So we'll put it right in the middle, 3 stars. Listen, this thing is strong and it encourages teamwork between party members. Kind of by requiring teamwork though, and that is a little bit worse. I'd say it is worth building or strategizing around, but the best items are going to be usable in most standard circumstances. You can throw a net with your attack action. You can throw a grappling hook with the utilize action. You can't use the chain without setup. And even though it is extremely good once on an enemy, that does make it just a little bit worse. Is the chain as good as those fictional characters make it seem? Definitely not. Have you seen what they use chains for in fiction? You're tying people up, you're trapping all sorts of spots, you're pulling enemies in, you're disarming people. You're doing full-on Spider-Man stuff with chains in fiction. You can't do all that, but it's still quite good and really fits a cool aesthetic for your character. And sometimes that genuinely matters more than anything else. If you're interested in an item that can help you set up for the chain, you should check out my video on the net. Not like on the internet, but like on the item, the net. You can click. If you're interested in the other item I mentioned that may be better than the chain at achieving similar things, you should subscribe. That's definitely on the list for items to cover in the near future. Please hit the like button and leave a comment. I want to hear if you've ever surprised a DM with an item they weren't prepared for. If you used an item in the way that isn't actually in the book to great effect. If you made it this far, you're into the channel. And I think you'll like pretty much everything I put out. So click all the YouTube things. Thanks everyone for watching. Do good, be good. Bye-bye.